All right, welcome everybody. Today we're having a yarn about Indigenous Literacy Day. So the Indigenous Literacy Foundation celebrating everything around Indigenous literacy, 9 a.m. tomorrow on a national-wide live. So feel free to join. They're going to be yarning about things like celebrating stories and language for our mob, and the foundation, they're hosting a free virtual. So check it out tomorrow morning. And they're going to be yarning about all different things. But today I'm joined by the ANFPP program, a few community members as well. So we're going to have an awesome yarn, but I'll share it around to let them introduce themselves first. Kylie, if you want to introduce yourself and your mob and what you do and how long you've been with the program.
Okay, my name's Kylie. I'm a family partnership worker with ANFPP South. I have been working with ANFPP for just over 12 months now. I'm a proud Kalkadoon woman, and I know how important literacy is, as being a mum with 6 kids as well.
Wow, got a bit of a tribe there, hey?
Yeah, just a bit.
Lucky number. Jaden, tell me what you do and why you're here, I guess.
Hello, so my name's Jaden. I'm a proud Indigenous Australian through both my parents. I'm currently studying at uni, so I'm in my first year studying a Bachelor of Education, and I'm currently working at a primary school in Goodna, so shout out to them.
Awesome. And Angie?
Hi, my name's Angie. I'm a nurse home visitor with the Australian Nurse Family Partnership Program at Goodna, and I've been working with the program for almost 2 years.
Awesome. Now, Kylie, tell me a bit about the program. What do you guys do?
Okay, so we're a long, extensive home visiting program. We work alongside with our nurse home visitors, family partnership workers. We work with mums from when they're 26 weeks pregnant up until bubs turn 2. We take them on through pregnancy, infancy and toddlerhood. Our visits start off weekly, go into fortnightly, and then towards the end of the program it goes monthly before the babies graduate off our programs.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Angie, you're a home visit. Explain what you do when you go to the homes and when you do those visits, and I guess why? What's the point of, I guess, this whole program, and what are we really trying to achieve?
So we're really trying to achieve for mums to reach their heart's desire or their goals. So we help mums return to school or get their licence, get their own housing, and really it's about bonding and attaching with their baby. So we really focus on building strong mums and strong babies.
Yeah, and I remember one of the facts that kind of stuck with me is you never grow more in your life than in your first 1,000 days, right?
Absolutely.
And so that period of growth, how important is it, I guess, Kylie, for mums to have that cultural support too as well?
I think it's really good because some of the mums have lost some of their cultural connection as well whilst on the program. So with us family partnership workers, we're able to help get them that family connection back. We work alongside them with the nurses and we build that attachment with our clients as well. So it is like another family.
Absolutely. And I've been lucky enough to head to a few of the graduations and see the community between the mothers, but also the attachment between mum and the family support staff worker. Angie, how does that feel, I guess, it seems like a lot of the stuff you do is just telling mum to believe in herself and empowering her to, I guess, create the environment she needs for her and her little family to grow.
Oh, it's such an amazing privilege to walk alongside of someone and see them. It's a big deal becoming a new mum, it's such a huge life transition. And just to give them a shout out and to let them know what a great job they're doing, and they're like, I am, and it's just so lovely to be part of that and see mums become all that they can be.
Absolutely. Now we're here for Literacy Day.
Yep.
Indigenous Literacy Foundation. They drive this sort of stuff. So I guess, Angie, why is it important that we have that foundation of literacy in our program and that we're definitely, making sure that it's our mob and our community are, I guess, starting off with the great foundation to love learning, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned before about the first 1,000 days. So as babies are growing, even just inside their mums, their brain is like making thousands of connections every day, more than at any other time in your life. So it's really important for mums to understand what an amazing impact they can have You don't have to wait for a baby to go to kindy or school to start learning. Like even when they're still growing inside of you, you can be fostering that attachment, but also really helping babies' brain development by stimulating them, reading, singing, talking to them all of the time. That really basic early literacy foundation is being laid.
Absolutely. Now, Kylie, mum of 6, I'm sure you know how to entertain little ones. How, I guess, that idea of singing and learning, but also culture at such a young age. And I think, First Nations culture is all about just kind of having a relationship with everything around you. And that being, the grass, the trees, everything. How important is it for our little ones to have the opportunity to sing and to learn and to use their motor functions and all that sort of stuff at such an early age?
It's really important, and watching the kids grow over the time and just all their development from such an early age. My kids have always enjoyed being around music, and they like being outdoors. They like, singing, reading. Some of them can't sing as good, but they all try at home.
It doesn't stop them, does it?
It doesn't stop them, no.
They're usually the loudest ones.
They are. I have a younger sister, 14, and she is just convinced she can sing. She's hell-bent she can sing. And look, sis, keep trying, keep going.
Yeah, that's it.
You got to encourage them, even if they don't sound, even though giving you a bit of a headache. But,
And you just sit back and let them go.
let them go. Exactly. Yeah. It's about fostering, I guess, that idea of loving to learn for themselves, right? And that autonomous kind of action in their lives where, bub, you have what it... And I guess that's the same for mums, right? Just empowering both mum and bub to learn and to grow together.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. So we're going to head to a little video around one of our program participants, Kalisha, who sings to our little bub Carter. And I guess... Kylie, you can speak, and Angie, you can speak to more about this video having, I guess it's what attachment looks like on the ground, right?
Yes.
It's just that singing to bub and taking the time to share space and be in the same, I guess, room, and you know what I mean?
You can really see it in the bub's face when he's watching his mum sing. He absolutely loves listening to his mum, and it's just that beautiful attachment that we have with our mums and their babies.
Absolutely. So check it out, and we'll be right back very soon.
Hoping that you'll understand that, baby, now take me into your loving arms, kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars, place your head on my beating heart, and think out we found love right where we are.
Welcome back. So, how cute are our jarjums, right? Like those faces, those laughs, the smiles, so cute. Jaden, so tell me a bit about what you do in the community.
So as I said before, I do work in a primary school, Goodness Age School.
Shout out to Goodness State School.
As I said before, no, they're really, really deadly up there, them lot. But no, honestly, I was basically employed to work with, I started off with 3 kids at Goodness State School. So 2 of them have just come from Sherbrooke. So just recently they just moved down from Sherbrooke. And as you could imagine...
It's a big transition, right?
It's such a big transition coming from Sherbrooke to obviously Goodness. It's a whole different movement. So basically I was employed just as a safe person, basically, making them feel safe when they come to school, making them feel welcome, because up there you have dogs walking around the street. You're not really motivated to go to school.
Nothing like the city, right?
No, nothing compared to what we have down here. And basically, in the first few weeks I was there, I was just trying to build that relationship with them, make them feel wanted, make them feel respected and welcomed at school. And honestly, I'm loving the work I'm doing with them. I drive past on my way to school and I'd see them walking up the side of the street and I'd wind my window down and they'd be like, Mr. Jaden. I'm like, who's this yelling at me?
Yeah.
It's the kids. And I'm like, oh, they're just amazing. But like the way their learning isn't really where we like it to be. Being my first year at uni, I've kind of developed some skills already and like built that relationship with them. I mean, it's hard trying to get them where they should be. But I know that I'm trying my best to be their motivating factor behind them and influencing them you know, as an Indigenous male, like through sports, because us as Indigenous people, we love sports. We have so many people that thrive through like athletic abilities.
Absolutely.
So being a good sports person myself, I kind of influence them in that aspect as well. But yeah, different things we do with them through school. Like at Goodness Day School, we have so many opportunities. The school is honestly so great, the way they cater for every student's need. It's such a diverse school. But yeah.
And your mob got book week coming up soon?
Yes, we do book week in week 9 on Thursday. I have to get on my deadly Where's Wally outfit.
Yeah.
See how we go. But yeah, book week next, week 9, sorry it is. Where all the money that's going to be raised, so it's $2 a buck, you know, and all that money will go back.
Donation those days.
Those donations, yes, and all that money will go back to Indigenous communities as well, helping them with literacy and all those sort of funding programs as well. So yeah, I'll have to.
Book week's always fun, right? I remember my siblings when they had book week, they would tell me maybe the day before, and I was like, all right, let's go to your wardrobe. What can we cut up?
Yeah.
It was always that sort of. I'm sure heaps of parents had the same stories,
Yeah,
but
it's the last minute panic.
right. And I was the older sister, so I'm like, okay, this is a challenge. Let's go to your wardrobe. I used to cut my. I remember I had a few pirate outfits where I just cut the jagged jeans. And I'm a pirate today. I don't care what the theme is. But that's amazing. And I can't imagine, Jaden, what it's like being a student, seeing an Indigenous male in our teaching rooms. I remember none of my teachers were Indigenous, and I probably would have listened a bit more if I had a big sister, big brother there looking after me in those school systems, because school systems, you know, as we know, we can't always control, and there are things there that, you know, we can only do our best from home. So, Angie, you mentioned earlier, we have our teachers, but the first teachers really are our parents, aren't they?
Absolutely. So the first bonding that happens between a baby is with the mum and dad and other family members, you know, grandma and aunties and brothers and sisters.
And it happens pre-birth, right?
Absolutely. So if you're talking or singing to your baby even before they're born, I would encourage all mums to, you know, sometime in the day, maybe it's your own bedtime story, you have the same book that you read each night, and babies will hear, it's about the rhythm of language. So they don't understand the words, obviously, but they understand rhythm, and we're teaching babies how our language sounds. Even sitting down with a little tiny baby with a book, understanding that we turn our pages left to right, and that those black squiggly things, they actually mean something, and they start putting all those things together. So, you know, when you're with your baby and the baby is on your hip, you can point out signs, you can, you know, point out street signs and magazines and, you know, deadly choices, any sort of signs that you see, just go, look, Baba, and you're talking to them about the world around them, and babies slowly, with all those brain connections that are being made, babies slowly putting all the world together and making sense of everything.
Yeah, it's incredible. I read a statistic a while ago saying the percentage of learning through music is so much greater than learning any other way. It's just, like you said, the rhythm and the feel of music kind of. And also, as adults, it's common sense. We learn better when we're having fun, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And Jaden, obviously, you know, you're working with a bunch of teenagers. You're going to have to make it a bit fun for them to even want to sit in the seat, right?
Yeah, they can be stubborn at times, but no, different ways of interacting with them, like kick a ball, as I said, sport, and go out on the oval and build those relationships through passing, kicking a ball, taking time out of their day, and all that sort of stuff.
And it's funny that we have such young ones, and they're sponges, like I said, and they can absorb so much more than we actually think they do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I remember my little siblings, they would be repeating what I said, and I'm just, can you please not repeat anything I said? And so it's so important that that we do talk about that. And now, Angie, the first 5, can you explain what that is like?
Yeah, absolutely. So first 5 is through the libraries. I actually think Kylie's got the kit there set out in front, so some cards that we give. So Kylie, if you just want to show those.
These up.
Yeah.
So we have these, and the first 5, it's a family literacy program for young children. And they sort of range from 0 to 5 years old. It's more like saying parents, primary caregivers are the child's first and most important teacher. They are based in your Queensland libraries. It's a free program. They do baby books, rhymes, toddler time, story time. They have pop-up libraries as well at different parks, so families can attend, and they do all different things. So they give us these little packs that we can hand out to our mums, and these are just like little flashcards with little nursery rhymes on the back. And obviously the black and white, and then a little book for the bubs as well with all the little nursery rhymes in. And then we've also got little flashcards, which are little peekaboo cards. So while the mum's changing bubs, she can have them on the change table. So we hand these out to all our mums as well when they start on the program, once the bubs are born.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And, you know, for those who, I guess, are listening, what is it like to see, I guess, inspire mums to kind of, I think that's the best part about the job, right? I mean, you can, I'm sure you can all
Absolutely.
tell me, but what is the best part about seeing, I guess, the growth and seeing mums kind of just embody their motherhood and empowerment?
It's an actual honour to see how much attachment mums over the time build with their babies. I mean, I haven't been there to see any of my newborn babies graduate off the program yet, but I can tell you it's going to be really hard when it gets to
Few
that
tears that day, hey?
When it gets to the 2 years, especially the attachment we build with the mums and the babies. Like, we walk into a home and like these little babies is like, you know, we're like an auntie to them, and they feel like your own children.
Yeah, definitely. I think on that too, with working in the school, I've only been there, a term and a bit. But I've built that relationship where I don't want the kids I've worked with to graduate yet. Like, I feel like I want to move to high school with them.
Right.
Like, I built that relationship with them where, like, I'm going to be like, oh my God, high school's next for you. Like, that's such a big stepping stone for you. Like, I know one of my year 6 girls, she's ready, but I just want to be there with her more, just to kind of guide her. But I know she'll do great things.
And I think that's what our mob need is, you know, in systems where we can get lost so easily, we need that one consistent person, right, Angie?
Absolutely.
You know, I've talked to mothers and they said, oh, my family support worker, she just came with a bag of groceries and I was struggling that day and I didn't want to leave my house that day, or, you know, I was stressing with, you know, my anxiety or depression that I had before has just been amplified since I've had bub. You know, I need that one, and even shame, right, Angie? You know, there's a lot of kind of factors you're dealing with,
and with
for your families.
with social media and stuff around these days, and it's a crazy world out there at the moment, and people are spending more time on social media, but they see everybody's beautiful life and they think, oh man, I'm such a terrible mum compared to that, and I feel like I'm falling apart, and they don't realise that everybody's struggling, but the little bit that you do for your baby, to take time aside to sit them on your lap, read them a story, sing to them, just play with them, is making all the difference for that baby and really giving them a good head start for that secure attachment.
And in regards of comparison, now, you know, mums, I'm sure, Bub took his first steps at 10 months, or, you know, my baby knows how to read and this and that. And there's a bit of a, you know, I guess, like shame factor around if your bub's not where they need to be in comparison to everyone else and the milestones. And obviously, if you have any questions around that, you people are the best people to ask around this, and then we can link them up with other services. How does that work?
So we do ages and stages questionnaires throughout baby's development. So we're always checking, you know, 2 months, 4 months, all that sort of thing, checking where baby's at. But if anyone's ever concerned about their baby's development or they're worried about some aspect of a bubby, absolutely always go along to one of your Aboriginal medical services and have baby checked out. Sometimes it can just be their hearing, and so they're not talking as early as they need to because they can't hear properly. So it's always really good to get those sort of things checked out.
And Kylie, you know, I guess as a mum as well of so many kids, of yourself, how important is it, I guess, to have those milestones, but also it seems like they're flexible, our babies. They're so open to learning, so it doesn't take long to get them back on the right track.
No, it doesn't. And we also encourage the mums as well that, you know, every child learns at different levels. Not every baby is going to be the same, and they're not all going to be at that same stage. And also, you know, we always say, well, my kids have had their 715s, so we keep them with their checkups for their hearing and obviously like that if they do have any speech and problems. But I think they're all doing well.
And before I let you all go, I just want to get one of everyone's favourite part about our program, the ANFPP program, but also, I guess, what do you think is the best advice for I guess, fostering that love for literacy and education and learning at such a young age. For me, it's just about making sure Bub and Mum knows that, you know, there's nothing wrong here. Everyone is at their own individual space and place, and we all grow and learn at different, you know, stages. So, I guess if you can, that's probably a harder question, but if you can answer it in, you know, as simple as you can, is just what's your favourite part or what's the best part about seeing your community grow?
I love working with the community. I think I've found my job that I'm really, really loving. I did like my job prior to this, which was at Goodness State School as well. But I'm loving being with families. I love seeing the attachment with these young mums and just seeing their building their self-efficacy and just watching how they grow.
Get too excited to go to work, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love
that's
it.
the same with me as well. I get excited to go to work. What I learned, obviously, finishing school last year and in uni, that knowledge really is power. And if you're learning, if you want to learn, if you want to go to school, if you're welcomed, if you feel loved, your knowledge, that's where knowledge comes in.
Yeah.
That's where you'll want to adapt yourself and apply yourself. So yeah, knowledge really is power to me.
Yeah.
And Angie, I think it's funny, people get shame about not knowing things. And I was like, how... You don't know what you don't know. You know, there's going to be many times where you've learnt something for the first time. So if you don't know and if you have more questions than answers, that's totally okay. And in fact, that's the best way I learn, and I know it's the best way a lot of other people learn as well, right?
Absolutely. I still feel like I learn all the time in this job, you know,
Yeah.
even for someone my age. So there's always, that's the wonderful thing about the world, there's always something beautiful to learn. And I think the thing for me about the job, the thing that I love the most about it is just encouraging mums and seeing them build that attachment with their baby, because when a baby feels secure, a baby's brain is ripe for learning. So if we can just focus in on building that beautiful attachment with your child, spend time with them, eye contact, lots of smiles, they're going to learn really beautifully because their brain is ripe for it.
So Angie, you know, we talk about literacy being the foundation. You can't really do much else unless you know, look after that literacy part of your learning. So I guess on the back of that, how do we help Bub comprehend things and I guess, you know, foster their imagination and their identity at such a young age as well? What are some of the questions we can be asking Bub?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think reading stories to them. I know kids, they love the same story over and over again. What that's doing is helping them to predict endings. So maybe as they get older, it's fun to play a game. Maybe, what would happen if, you know, the ending, say you take it and you twist it around, they didn't go there, or this here didn't happen, and get them using their imagination to end the story differently in their mind. It's also just the kids, even when they're younger, you know, like Dr. Seuss books and those sort of things, the rhyming, the repetitiveness of rhyming words. So children will hear patterns in our language. So that really helps them to understand language. Yeah.
And I guess also, Jaden, you can probably answer this as well, is like I know for me and Kylie, you can probably we talk different at home. We use different slang or broken English or different words for different things, or, you know, our language as well is in there. Jaden, do you see kids have to make that transition from home to school on a daily basis?
Yeah, they do, honestly. And as Angie said, they have such a creative imagination. Like the things that these kids think about, I'm just, wow. Like they put a story together and they can go on and on and on. But the way we interpret the story after, like with my kids, we say, and we relate it to themselves. Like, how could you do this differently? Why do you think they did this? And all those sort of personal questions that can relate to different lifestyles that they have. Like at home, for instance, they could be doing certain things and then come to school. And in the school environment, it's completely different. We have to change that aspect, obviously, yeah.
And it's funny, I saw a quote somewhere the other day saying, we used to read books to escape and to learn something new and to find out a new world. But sometimes these days it seems like we try and have to find ourselves within the book. But I think that's the balance, right? It's a bit of both in using literacy and learning and growing. Well, you mob, that's us. That's it for us today. And Jaden, Angie, Kylie, thank you for joining me today.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, and you know, make sure you tune in tomorrow, 9 a.m. Indigenous Literacy Foundation. They're on Facebook there and the website, so check it out. Make sure you get that outfit for book week if your little one has it coming up, and ask them if it's coming up and what date it is. So make sure you get that checked, because that's not fun. But anyway, we'll join you back again soon. And really appreciate you, Mob, coming in. And we're really thankful for the work you all do on the ground. And it's at the benefit of our next generation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.